talking about the Titans here. The Titans.
Swing and a drive, left field. It's gone. It's gone. It is bedlam at the bank.
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Podcast right here. You already know. Go fucking subscribe. Go follow.
You are now listening to the 302 Birds Phillies postgame show with Eric, Brendan, Dalt, and Ballpark Tommy. Proudly powered by TickPick. Check out the link in the bio for $10 off your first order today. Let's take it to the show.
What a walk-off, dude. What an absolute win. This win just felt like one of those wins that's the best of the season. Just the way it played out, honestly, going from the 10th inning with having a shutdown top of that inning to walking it off in the 10th. And we're going to talk about all this in a few minutes, but just a great Phillies win. Definitely, shows why they're called the Fightins. And yeah, I mean, this was just awesome to see. It's definitely what they needed. They've won 3 in a row now. Definitely a confidence booster for them. But what's up, everybody? Eric, also known as Shard, here at the 302 Birds Phillies post-game show. And Friday, man, what a win, dude. What a win.
Yeah, I was, what's the name? I left around, what's the name? Since I worked there, I left around, was it the 9th inning? And I listened to the rest of the game on the radio. Must say, tonight's game felt like a preview of playoff vibes, and I'll say this because I had a good feeling in the very beginning of the night the Phillies were going to win the night, and it was going to be an exciting game just because we were playing against the Astros, and it just had this different vibe to it for some reason. It just had this playoff vibe. This game tonight just separated playoff vibe baseball to the rest of the games this season for some reason, and it couldn't have happened at a better time. I mean, we'll get more into Bryce Harper, but yeah, everything was clicking on all cylinders tonight. I know we'll get into the rest of it in a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, and like Jordan said here, what a game, what a finish. And I'm going to, use both of your comments here, both you, Jordan, and you, Fratty. But, like, what a game and what a finish. And, Fratty, like you said, it definitely felt like postseason vibes, especially because of, and I think we talked about this, yesterday, Fratty, where we haven't played the Astros at home since the World Series. So, I mean, there's just a lot of emotion for Phillies fans in the air. I'm sure a lot of people at the stadium. I saw a bunch of my friends on Twitter were at the game tonight, so that's great for them. I think you were there too, right?
Yeah, since I worked there, I'm at most games.
Gotcha.
The only game I'm not going to be at this homestand is the pitcher, the game that Taijuan Walker is pitching.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a second too. But going into the first topic, first thing that we're going to talk about, Zack Wheeler, dude, he looked a little bit off today, in my opinion. He still got the win, which is great for him. This is his 100th win of his career, but he just, I don't know, man. He looked a little bit off to me. Didn't really look like he, had command of the ball at times, was getting behind in counts. He still got out of a lot of the guys on base, but looking at the stat line, 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, no home runs, 2.74 ERA. Again, he got behind in a lot of the counts. And when he would get people on base, he seemed to get out of it, which is great. But his pitch count was just super high for, the 4th, 5th inning. I think by the 4th inning, he was at about 60, 70 pitches already, which, again, I don't know if he didn't have command or what, but, I mean, he still dealt regardless, and I'm happy that he was able to get his 100th win finally, because he almost had it during that Braves series, and they just weren't able to rally behind him. But looking at the pitchers after him, Kirk Green came in for 1 inning, let up 1 hit, had 1 strikeout, 2.31 ERA. Hoffman, he's back to dealing again. 1 inning pitched, 1 hit, 1 walk, but no runs, 1.95 ERA. Esteves, again, he's back to dealing. 1 inning pitched, no hits, no runs, 2.36 ERA. And then Strahm, did Wheeler get the win today? They said on the broadcast that he did, but it says Strahm got the win, so I'm not 100% sure, actually. He pitched, no hits, no runs, 1 strikeout, 2.13 ERA. Like I said, they said on the broadcast that he got his 100th win. But it says here that the win went to Strahm, so I'm not sure if Tom and Kruk were correct, but either way, they still got the win. So, yeah, but great outing. And we're going to talk about Strahm in a second, because that's going to be its own separate topic, because that was just absolutely dominant. But Wheeler came in, did his job. They won 3 straight. Nola's on the mound tomorrow, so we'll see what happens with that. And we're going to talk about Wednesday here in a second, because that honestly irritated me. But Frowdy, what did you think of Wheeler, dude?
Yeah, from what I saw and while I was watching and working at the same time, from what I saw, I saw, besides allowing that 2 home run, he was pretty much dominating entire night. The defense around him, and when I was pitching through the 16 innings, the defense was making some good plays tonight. Over the pitch, he just, outside of allowing that meatball home run, whatever, 2-run home run, he was just dominant for the most part. And yeah, I mean, he couldn't ask for more from a pitcher. He needs to get used to having good starts. And I'll tell you, Zack Wheeler being in your rotation in a postseason game in game 1, if he has to start like this where he doesn't allow more than 2-3 runs and our offense scores between 3 and 4 runs, we we automatically take a 1-0 series lead if our bats can have a game getting going and Wheeler pitches good. You definitely have a good shot of starting off a playoff series out the gate very good. And Zack Wheeler, like I said, getting back to Wheeler again, if he keeps pitching like this and the offense can produce a little bit more runs tonight around him in a key postseason game, you have a good shot of starting off the good foot if you want to make that chase towards a championship. So
Right. And I know, I think Kruk was talking about this in the post-game show over on NBC Sports Philly, but even he was saying, during the World Series, I think they had Josh Hader in the bullpen. I don't think he pitched at all during the World Series. And Kruk was like, well, what would have happened if he came in to pitch in the World Series? And, he was saying, well, we kind of saw it in tonight's game where Harper walked it off. So, can't go back, can't change the hands on the clock, unfortunately. But, it kind of plays into mind, well, what would have happened if Hader came in to pitch during the World Series? And, what if we walked it off in the World Series? But going into, I guess, kind of a subtopic, Walker. You guys know, if you've been watching this show for a while, all of our opinions on this show about Taijuan Walker. Most people on this show just we can't stand him. He's a bum. Sorry, I'm swatting a fly, but we can't stand him. We hate him. We think he's a bum. Doesn't deserve to have another pitch or another start on the pitching mound. It came out today that Rod Thompson, in an interview, is going to start him on Wednesday, which I think is the wrong move. I really do. I don't think he deserves another start. Thompson's excuse for starting him was, oh, well, his velocity was good. His velocity was up. It looked promising. I don't care about his velocity. I really don't. I mean, it's great that his velocity's up. That's cool. But literally, when you go out almost every outing and you let up 2 or more earned runs, because he let up what the other day? Like 6, right?
I think
Something
so.
like that. I just like it's annoying. Like he was like, well, you know, he's a good pitcher, and seeing where he's came from and seeing how deserving of it. I don't know if this was a Rob decision, honestly. I feel like it's more so a Dave decision. And the reason I say that is because I think Dave Dombrowski said to Rob, give him one more start. If he does bad in this start, which I pray that he does, this is going to be the one game I hope we lose against the Astros. If we can win tomorrow, I'm fine with losing on Wednesday. I'm fine. I'm fine with it. I'm fine. We have to win tomorrow, though, against Verlander, but we'll see what happens with that. But, you know, if Walker comes out on Wednesday and is absolute crap, I think Dave is going to finally pull the plug. I really do. I don't see why you would start Walker on Wednesday after his last outing, unless Dave Dombrowski said, yeah, I need some kind of, I need more, like, I guess, evidence in a sense. That's the only way that's the only reason I could see Walker starting on Wednesday.
Yeah, I'll say this, but there's got to be a point in time where Dombrowski and Rob Thompson's got to realize that you got to stop acting like you're absolutely married to this Taiwan Walker guy, because there's just a thing. It's only so much you can take of it, and I'll say it because I know there's lots of money, tons of money tied into this guy, and he has a contract over the next next year or two. But I know there's a lot of money invested into Taiwan Walker, and maybe there'll be a point where they come to realize that after this season, maybe they'll buy out Taiwan Walker's last, I think, year or two of his contract, because he signed like 3 or 4 years with us, I think. So, but he'll I think you buy out his contract. You try to see if you can get anything for him during the offseason. I don't care what he does for the rest of the year. I think if he can even pitch, decent the rest of the season, I think you can possibly maybe decide to trade him in the after the season's over. Maybe you'll get something back for him, maybe a little something back, but I highly doubt it. Maybe at the most they'll give prospects. But
Yeah.
honestly, that's definitely something we're going to revisit later on in the season once we get into the off season. But that's going to be interesting development as we head beyond the postseason. Once the season is over, that won't be hopefully for another couple months. So
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, the only way, or I guess the only team I could see them trading to right now, because I really just don't know who's going to want Taiwan Walker. I really don't. The only team I could see is the White Sox, because I think they're at 101 losses. I know that they got to 100 the other day. They're at 100 right now. It's 3-2. They're losing to the Tigers. So the only team I could really see them trading to is maybe the White Sox, maybe the Athletics. I don't know. But speaking of tomorrow, I don't know if we lose with Verlander on the mound. I feel like the Phillies have seen Verlander quite a decent amount of times to where they're familiar with how he pitches, similar to how the Astros were kind of teeing off Wheeler today in a sense. But we'll see. I could say the same with Nola with the Astros. I mean, the Astros have seen Nola so much as well. And we all know what's going to come tomorrow, the inevitable Nola meatball down the middle. So we'll see. But going into the next topic, next thing we're going to talk about, the offense. I mean, the offense was a little bit iffy today, and I feel like there was a lot of times personally that they could have scored. I forget what inning it was, but let me look here and see. I think it was the bottom of the sixth. Yeah, it was the bottom of the sixth, where Nick Castellanos, he was on third, or he was on first, and I think Bryce Harper or somebody came up and doubled after him. And they kept him at third. And I really think that I'm trying to look here. So Nick was on first. It was either Stott or Real Muto who hit hit something, and they stopped him at third. And he could have easily gotten home. I think honestly we could have avoided extras if Nick would have ran home. And I think it comes down to that third base coach. I think it's Dusty Wafflin or Waffin, how you say his name. I don't know. I think he could have went home, but honestly, like the offense tonight, it was just iffy, and there was just a lot of double plays. Harper and Real Muto, they both grounded into double plays. There was a lot of runners left in scoring position. I'm looking here. Marsh and Bohm are left in scoring position. Looking at the stat line, I'm going to share my screen here so you guys can see. So looking at the stat line, Schwarber went 0 for 4. He had 1 walk. Turner went 2 for 4 with 1 walk. Harper 2 for 3, 2 walks. Bohm, I'm really getting tired of Bohm. He keeps taking first pitch ground outs or just outs in general, and it's getting really annoying. He had multiple times where he could have scored runs and he just didn't. And it's really pissing me off because I don't think he's a good cleanup hitter. I really don't. If it was maybe the beginning of the season, sure, but I really think at this point in the season, you got to switch him out. Casty 1 for 4, 1 RBI. Stott 2 for 4. Ramuto 1 for 4. Marsh 1 for 3. Sosa, he came in to pinch hit, but it was only 1 at bat. 0 for 1. Rojas, he came in to play defense, but he didn't bat at all. And then Hayes is 0 for 4. I don't know if Hayes is really what you were expecting to sign. His batting average is a 2.51, which isn't bad. It's not great either. Again, I don't know if Hayes is the guy that you really wanted in the trade deadline. So 9 hits, 35 at-bats, not bad, but again, just a little bit shaky. I think they had a lot of opportunities to avoid going to extras. The Astros made a lot of errors, whether it was infield errors, overthrowing the ball, not catching the ball, etc. But again, they walked it off, so that's great, but they could have avoided extras.
Yeah, I just think they were losing to a lot of guys on tonight, and I think it factors in. I know they haven't had a day off. So they've been playing today was the 7th straight day. And I know they've been used to the last couple of weeks to have only playing 6 in a row. And I must say, I'll give them a pass tonight with the offense just because they scored 11 the last 2 games. And
True.
I just think coming back to Philly, they just weren't able to capitalize off of Houston's good pitching and Houston's mistakes. I just think they were just a little tired tonight on offense. And I think them only scoring 3 runs tonight, and I'll say this, them only scoring 3 might save runs tomorrow where they'll go after Verlander and score maybe 5 to 6 runs possibly off of them tomorrow. 4, 5, 6 runs maybe against Verlander tomorrow, which is very possible. And I think we could win tomorrow, but I agree with you, Shard. I think the Phillies will lose on Wednesday. And but yeah, getting back to the offense, it was iffy, and I think it will get better tomorrow. I'm going over 3 runs, and I think they'll be with no one on the mound. We might have to score more runs tomorrow. I think the Astros are going to score more than 2 runs. So total runs was 5 tonight between the 2 teams. I definitely, if you piggyback off of, say for example, of like I know Dalton loves the bets, but if you piggyback off of betting, if you piggyback one game to the other, if the over under was like 5 runs, you would definitely take the over for tomorrow night, honestly. So
Right. And I mean, I see it going one of two ways. I see it either they win tomorrow and they lose Wednesday, or they lose tomorrow and they somehow win on Wednesday. Because the thing with Walker is whenever Walker's on the mound, it's either he pitches bad and the offense does bad, or he pitches bad and the offense does very well. Looking at probable pitchers, tomorrow it's Justin Verlander, right-handed pitcher, 3 for 3 on the season, 3.92 ERA, 57 strikeouts. Against Nola, right-handed pitcher, 11-6 on the season, 3.45 ERA, 147 strikeouts. So I could see it being another pitching duel tomorrow, similar to how it was today. On Wednesday, Wednesday could go either way. And the only reason I say this is because Arrighetti isn't really that great of a pitcher for the Astros. He's 6-11 on the season, right-handed pitcher, 4.94 ERA, 140 strikeouts. Going against Taijuan Walker, again, not a really great pitcher for our team. Right-handed pitcher, 3-5 on the season, 6.26 ERA, 53 strikeouts. So, like I said, Arrighetti isn't the best pitcher for the Astros. He's had a kind of shaky couple of starts. Looking at his stat line. Yeah, I mean, his last couple outings, he's let up a couple of runs. I mean, against like the White Sox, he let up 4 earned runs and 7 hits. Against the Orioles, he was kind of decent. He went 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs. So, again, I think the Orioles won that game, though, on the 22nd. Let me see. Or no, the Astros won. They shut out the Orioles. So, Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I can see it going either way. So, but going into the next topic, next thing we're going to talk about, Strahm and Rojas, dude. They absolutely saved. I was not expecting Strahm to have such a dominant outing in the 10th inning. He came out, pitched 1 inning, no hits, no runs, 1 strikeout, 2.13 ERA. It says here he got the win, so he's 6-2 on the season. But Rojas, dude, oh my goodness. His defense is just, it's elite. It's really, really good. And, how about that catch, dude? I mean, if it wasn't for that catch, we probably maybe would have lost that game. Or we would maybe still be playing right now. He's such a wizard in the outfield and center field. He's so fast. He's so athletic. He's diving for balls. He's jumping for balls. He's putting his body on the line to win these games. If the ball's in the air, he's going to catch it. And I agree, Jordan. I'd rather have him on Marsh than Marsh on defense. I don't think Marsh is terrible defensively. I think he has his moments where he makes great catches. I really do. But when it comes to just overall play, I think Rojas is more athletic. Marsh, there's a lot of plays recently where Marsh has just let it go over his head, whereas I feel like Rojas probably would have it might have gone over his head, but I feel like Rojas would have put in more effort and maybe caught the ball. But again, if Rojas did not catch that ball tonight, either the Astros would have won or it would have been more of a pain in the butt to walk it off. And I'm glad that Rob made the decision to, put Rojas in. I'm really glad that he did, because I feel like if Marsh was in that situation, it would have gone a completely different way.
yeah, talk about a play to save the game, and talk about a turning point play, which will. And I'll say this. Rojas, like I said, great play. That play right there, that will give you absolute juice heading into games to come. And I'll tell you one thing. Right now, I felt like that after what's been happening last 3 games, and after the way we've been struggling, maybe everything's gonna be all right. Maybe everything is just gonna be all right. Maybe we're gonna have one of those red Octobers again. That's exciting, like the past 2 years. And it's like uh, the fact right now, if we can keep winning the games and keep the Brewers at bay, and even keep them at the best at a tie, we can have that first round bye, even though it hasn't meant anything. And the last couple of years, but for us, with our fans, and Philadelphia being another animal against most NL teams in the playoffs, especially NLDS. It's only a 5 game series. NLDS is over the years, besides the Cardinal series. We've dominated in a bunch of games at home, except for that 1 or 2 games against St. Louis in 2011. We've won a lot of games in the NLDS outside of 2007 and outside of 2011. We've won a lot of games. So that play right there gives me vibes that things are going to be okay, and I think that we're poised for another run. But there's just one team that just still scares me, that's in the way right now. That's a team we beat 5 times, and that's the LA Dodgers.
Yeah, I
So
mean, I could see the Dodgers being a little bit scary just because I mean they're getting healthy again. We'll see. I feel like the Dodgers are kind of cursed against us in a sense because I mean they find ways to lose against us. We'll see. But going into our last topic, the last thing we're going to talk about. I mean, we've kind of already talked about it, but the walk-off win. Harper, he's in bottom of the 10th. Turner walked. Swarber's on first because he was the ghost runner. I don't completely agree with Swarber being on second for the ghost runner. I think they might have been better off if they maybe put in like Rojas or save Sosa and put Sosa in there. But I mean, either way, it worked out. That's great. I don't know if things would have went different if Kyle was the guy to send out there. But Bryce Harper, I mean, he singled on a ground ball to right fielder Ben Gamel, and Kyle Swarber scored, and they walked it off. I believe this is their 6th or 7th walk off of the year. We've had a decent amount of walk offs this year. We've gone into extras a couple times this year too, which is a little bit annoying, but I mean, if they can find ways to win, that's great. But just, like you said earlier, Friday, just seemed like a very playoff-esque atmosphere. And, you were at the game, I was home, but even at home, I could feel it. I mean, it felt like a great win and a great walk-off.
surprisingly, believe it or not, it wasn't even a sellout tonight. It wasn't even 40,000 people there tonight, believe it or not. It was 39,600 plus people there only tonight. There was a lot of empty seats on the upper levels, I noticed tonight. But shockingly, like surprisingly, it wasn't a sellout. And I knew that because kids were just going back to school. But it no matter what the circumstance, the weekends and the playoffs are still going to be very busy. But it was very very weird to see a game not really sold out, even though the vibes were still felt like playoff vibes. It wasn't. It was the first time we didn't sell out a game in months. But I'll say this. I feel pretty good, especially this walk-off win. You don't know how important it is for us to have this home field advantage this time of year, because 5 out of the last 7 games at home we've won, and we've been iffy on the road lately. So with 6 more at home, if we can have that same record like we did in the last 7 games at home, have a 5-2 home stand, that would be huge heading into early September with about 4-ish weeks or less in the season. Because after September 1st, that Sunday night game, we got off. We have that day off on Labor Day, which honestly, with this team, I hate having days off because like every time we have a day off, we lose it as of late. So that's the only thing I hate about us having a day off on Labor Day. Especially, we got to travel up in Toronto, up into Canada on September 3rd, next Tuesday. By next Tuesday, because we have a night game and then we have a day game after that in Toronto. That's my only concern as we head into September. But right now, we're about to go into August 27th already tomorrow, and we have a month left of the season, and we're ready for another Red October here in Philadelphia, and hope in about a little over a month from now. So I'm pretty psyched about it. Quite honest, all you school kids out there, Red October, when the Phillies have a day playoff game, Red October, it should be official holiday, for real. So that's my take on that.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see, man. But that's really all we have for you guys tonight. We've kind of went through the rundown of what to expect for the next couple of games in terms of pitching. So if you didn't see that, rewind the video when this uploads, and you'll see that. But tomorrow is Anola Day, so we'll see him on the mound. And yeah, Phillies win 3-2 in a walk-off, 10 innings, and just overall great win. So enjoy the win. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow, same time. And everybody have a good night. Going to go ahead and roll the outro.
Okay.
See you guys.
The Vikings!
Swing and a drive, left field. It's gone! It's gone! It is Bedlam at the bank!
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Can't hear you. Podcast.